One last video for the 2024 election. Whether or not it's one of your key ones, you need to know about it. It only happened last year. You're going to use it for a bunch of things. But first, let me just mention one or two useful things that we from elections that we haven't looked at. So 1992, if there was ever anything about polls, the pollsters got it wrong. They said that Labour would win, but in fact the Conservatives got a majority of 21. That was a shock result, and the Sun took credit for it. It was the Sun what won it. Also a huge turnout, by the way, 77.7%. And that was one of two elections lost by Neil Kinnock. 2001, we know for the lowest ever turnout, 59.4%, and the invention of a new word, hapathy, a happy apathy. People knew Labour would win, they were okay with it, but they couldn't be bothered to turn out because it wasn't very exciting. 2015 is the one that we remember now for the manifesto promise to hold a referendum over leaving the EU, which changed the course of history. The other thing is we remember it for UKIP getting 12.6% of the vote, but only one seat. So an indictment for first past the post. And also the SNP, if you're ever doing do we have a two-party system, the SNP won 56 seats in Scotland and wiped out Labour in that part of the world. 2017 was a funny little election. Such a misjudgment. Theresa May called it, believing she could win a majority of 200 and then get through her version of Brexit with a large mandate. It didn't happen at all. She didn't get any majority at all. She was 7 short and had to do a deal with the DUP. What a disaster. Two things to say about why that might have happened was one was a policy. She said she was going to tax property to pay for social care. That halved her lead overnight and was a huge misjudgment. People hate property taxes, inheritance taxes. The second thing was Jeremy Corbyn. What a strange leader. He had never been even a junior minister, never been on a shadow cabinet. Labour members used to laugh when he spoke in Parliament. He was seen as such a wacky left-wing idealist. And he became the leader, and he did well, actually. There was a large amount of youth support, quite an idea of something different, something revolutionary, despite the attempts of the press. He overperformed, and that helped stop May getting her majority. He, in fact, performed a lot better in that election than Starmer did in 2024. 2019 was a horrible election. Get Brexit done, single issue. But 2024. Look, in many ways, a great election. Compared to European and world trends, it was civilised, honest, transparent, peaceful, relatively moderate. Although Reform UK was a populist party who were probably done in by first past the post. But still, there was a lot there to be proud of, I think, compared to what was going on in other countries. But it was desperately disproportionate. Labour got 33% of the vote, but 63% of the seats. They actually did very badly. They got a smaller share of the vote than Corbyn in 2017, fewer actual votes than Corbyn in 2019. 33% of a 60% turnout is only 20% of the electorate. Whereas, as I say, Reform took over 14% of the vote and only 5 seats. It scrambled lots of trends. We always say that age is the best indicator. So the younger you are, the more you vote Labour. The older you are, the more you vote Tory. This time it didn't really happen. So the main Labour support bulge was among 30-somethings, and the youngest voters branched off towards Greens and the Lib Dems. So why did Labour win? Well, there was a collapse of opposition. Even the Tories were tired of the Tories. There'd been Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, even under Sunak, there had been allegations of bullying against Raab and Williamson, the sacking of Suella Braverman, disputes with the Supreme Court over Rwanda. Reform UK took a lot of their votes, and the home counties seemed to suddenly turn to the Lib Dems, who got 72 seats. The Tories lost 251 seats, staggering. But also the SNP collapsed in Scotland after financial allegations. So Labour were almost the last party standing. Manifestos, media, I don't think there's too much to say. Reform got hold of social media and used it well. Sunak tried to gain the right back by doubling down on Rwanda, pensions, tax cuts, even a hilarious sudden attempt to put young people into national service like the 1950s. But it didn't seem like his heart was in it. Starmer kept a few of Corbyn's left wing ideas, nationalise railways, tax private school fees, sadly, but otherwise he tried to stay as centrist and uncontroversial as he could. And in the end, he was the one celebrating whether or not that is a fair outcome of the vote.